Welcome back, all you crazy campers. How you doing? Seen the chat room filling up nice and slowly. I'll get ahead of the game today, right? But we're back. Coffee break number 3. Yes, I do have the coffee. I don't have the KBS cup that you see on the thumbnail, but that could be coming. No, I'm not going to get into the world of merch. But how you all doing? See Kristen in there. She's been waiting patiently for her morning stream. You know, she's got her McDonald's ready. She's got her Mackie D breakfast, as we call it over here. We got Pollination in there. We've got Brandy. I'm an aspiring stalker of Elon. So am I. You'll have to fight me for that job. And I know there'll be a lot of interest in what Elon has been up to today, like Kristen is saying. And Brandy says, "Love Kev's show." When I tell people I'm listening in two, I'm like, that's my good Facebook friend Kev Baker from Scotland. You should really listen to him. I'm going to have to start paying you money, Brandy. That's really awesome. It is. We've got S Mac in there. Annabelle. We've got Change My Mind. Nuke the Hurricane. Do it. What's a little radiation, right? Yeah, that's it. Genius thinking of the illustrious leader of the US, of course, Mr. Trump. And yeah, on a serious note, and I've got 2 chats running on the screen right now. Give me 2 seconds, folks. There we go. Yep, there you go. All clean. Nice. You can see yourselves now, right? Yeah, serious note, that hurricane that's heading for Florida, I believe, in the next couple of days or so. We're going to take a quick look at that today as we go on. Armand in the chat room. Armand, your show is rendering in the background. I had Armand on for an hour last night. No doubt it's going to trigger a lot of people as well. People just don't like when I dare to examine other topics like the occult, Crowley. And what I tried to do on my show is I tried to give everyone a platform, everyone a voice. And not to do with last night's show in particular, but in general, there's going to be topics that I know I don't necessarily agree with. But how are we meant to learn, right? How are we meant to learn if the minute you dare to go and get somebody else's perspective or point of view to try and increase your own knowledge base, there's people that are determined to attack out there. How are we meant to learn? You know? So yeah, I really enjoyed last night's show with Armand. We got into some really, really deep and dark woo, as I call it. And just because I call it woo doesn't mean it's not serious. In fact, it's very, very serious. And when that goes up today, I urge you all to check that out. And I should be on later as well with Scotty Lopez. And I want to give a big shout out. Not only does Florida have this hurricane coming in, so that puts Popeye central in my mind. Good friend Popeye over in Florida just moved house. And I just found out today from Scott, and I've seen the pictures, the big man's almost cut his thumb off. Now, I don't know what's happened yet. I think Scott's talking to Popeye as we speak. Maybe they're tuned in right now because I sent Scott a link. I don't know. And if you want to do me a big, huge favour, it costs you absolutely nothing, folks. See the thumb up or the thumb down? Going to click that, because that really gets the algorithm's attention. And if you can as well, share it out to your Twitter followers, to your Facebook friends. We'll try and get the coffee break starting to grow a little bit now. Number 3, confidence growing. Got some good stories for today as well. I see Lee Veltman sneaking back into the chat room as well, and my good friend, the Deviant, I say that jokingly, King Sweet. And Armand, great talk with Kev yesterday. My favourite part was when at some point you were talking about the Enchanted Forest and what that conversation evolved into. Yeah, I really enjoyed that last night, Armand. I really, really did. And it takes me back to when I first started the show. I never, ever for one moment dreamed I'd speak to people like David Icke and Geordie Rose and Sean Atwood and all these other known names out there, okay? And I always said it would be real people, real radio. And over the course of time, you build up the show and you bring new guests in. And sometimes I forget that original thought I had. Real people, real radio. Just ordinary dudes, ordinary women like me, like all of you out there. And I know that Nancy, my good friend Nancy from Canada, she is going to be one of my next Real People, Real Radio stars, because we talk all the time off there. Nancy is a huge supporter of the show here. But not only that, she talks about, and she's gone to seminars on, and she's really, really well versed in things like quantum healing. And myself and Nancy, we could talk quantum for hours. So really looking forward to hanging out with Nancy, and hopefully, you know, as well as the real people, the albatross out there that one day I'm going to snare. I'm going to get him on the show somehow, by hook or by crook. Is my idol. I say that just to trigger people. Elon Musk. I love Musk. I don't hide the fact. I think the guy's an absolute genius. Can't say I'm entirely positive about his company wanting to hook us all into the AI. But with that said, right, I do see where he's coming from. I really do. So we've got Neil in there as well. And Neil, I enjoy hanging out with you guys as well in the afternoon. Nobody wanted to talk to Ike, only InfoWars did. I've been following Ike for years. I really have. Is it Ali Red Star or Ally Red Star? Yeah, I've been following Ike. Even, like, remember when he got ridiculed and things back on Terry Wogan? Over here in the UK, Ike was like a laughing stock. But even then, I was thinking to myself, I didn't quite get it right. Wasn't totally jumping into the whole reptilian side of things, but now I've come to learn that the media wanted us to focus on that side, and not that I discount that, not at all. But yeah, I've followed Ike for years, and you should have seen me before I got him on the show. What a nervous wreck I was. And then here's a little secret for you, right? And I'm not just saying this. What you see is what you get with David. He's absolutely down to earth. He spoke to me like he'd known me for years. I don't know what was weirder, speaking to David Icke or speaking to David Icke and realising he's just an ordinary guy. He just gets it. He doesn't pretend to be any better than anyone else. You know, he was ahead of his time. That's why over time, more and more of the stuff that he talked about, it gets proven right. And nobody's perfect. Nobody gets everything right. That would be impossible. And if anyone says to you, I know all the answers, please run away. Come and tell me, and we'll look at all the answers they've got, and we'll have a laugh with it on YouTube or something, all right? So we've got Ali Red Star. She also followed Ike from that moment. Sorry for assigning gender. I know you can't do that in this day and age, right? And Bearded Traveller, I like that. My beard is coming on well, thank you. Yes, Kev, these tea time shows are great. Apostle, absolutely awesome, man. We'll need to get together for a pint or a wee smoke one time. I remember walking through Postle one night, dude. Wait till you hear this. This is a story, right? When I first started courting Anne way back in the day, she lived in Black Hill. I had a little flat up in Maryhill in the Wynford, or the barracks as they call it, right? And it was one of these winters, it must have been maybe 2001, 2002, and it was absolutely horrendous. There was like snow up to your knees, no chance of getting a taxi, right? So I thought to myself, and Anne had only been going out a while at the time, I thought, surely, you know, her grand will let me sleep on the couch or something. It was getting late. No, I had to walk all the way from Black Hill, dude, all the way, like through Quarrywood, up through that neck of the woods, and then I ended up on Saracen Road, or Saracen Street. And I'd heard about this place in Postle, and it was back in the day when it was a bit wilder than it is now. Dude, I have never been so terrified. And bear in mind, I'd been in the army. I'd done all that training. I think it all had led me up to that point, to make it home through Postle. That's what it was all about. And yeah, Ali Red Star, Jordan Maxwell. Now, you might not know this, Ali, because it was a way back in my early radio time at TFR. And remember, folks, check out tfrlive.com. I used to listen to Chris and Cherie before I went on there. Can't recommend it highly enough, right? But Jordan Maxwell was actually one of the first big interviews I had. Not once, not twice, but about 3 times. And what happened was, way back then, it was a few years ago, Jordan was in some kind of dispute with people that had been managing his work. And basically, they'd stolen all of his work and copyrighted everything. So as people, not just me, but as other people were putting videos of Jordan Maxwell up, it was back in the Wild West days when anyone could claim copyright, and it was really harder to fight it back then. And it's good to see that YouTube are really kind of improving that whole false striking, the copyright system right now. But I almost lost a channel because of the work I'd done with Jordan. No fault of Jordan's. And for me, Jordan Maxwell, right up there. I've seen Jim Mars mentioned beside him, David Icke. And as much as people don't like him, I put Alex Jones up there as well as Chris and Cherie Geo. And can't forget Clyde Lewis, my good friend Clyde Lewis. That's my kind of stable, kind of, that was where I got my kind of grounding. That's what set me off, all of those kind of characters. But listen, if we don't get started today, I'm not going to get finished in time for the Celtic game. And that's probably going to divide anyone in Glasgow that I'm a Celtic supporter. But hey-ho, deal with it. Yep, I'm not one of these people that pretends I'm not into my sport, folks. I know in conspiracy land, people, they often shun others that dare to get enjoyment and entertainment out of sport or TV. I don't care what people think, honestly. We're all on our own journeys. And as long as we're not hurting people along the way, what more can you ask for, right? So we've got updates on yesterday. We've got Musk, who came up in yesterday's conversation. He's been talking again today. We're going to take a look at that. And then we're going to take a look at what's going to be happening or what the futurists predict the world's going to look like in 50 years. So does that sound good to you? I think it sounds good. And not only that, Kristen, you'll be absolutely delighted to know, right? But I've fixed the volume. I've got it now so I can speak over the top of the volume. So now we can have clown music and all the rest of it when we've got our dumbest criminals on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, like a professional, that's where we're starting today. The dumbest criminals, right? Look at me looking all serious there with Geordie Rose. Damn, got to pinch myself. Maybe that was another universe or something, right? But yesterday, we were taking a look at this here. And for anyone who wasn't here yesterday, I'll just catch you up quickly. Take a listen to this, right? Now, I urge you all to check out Johnny Supertramp, but I want to know what the hell is happening in Virginia for this to be going on. I have no idea, people. Now, this here is described as a triple homicide suspect leading police on a naked chase in Virginia. Who's chasing who here? Is this comedy? So yeah, ABC. Remember that? The naked criminal? Well, we've got an update on the naked criminal. And as funny as it is to laugh at this video, this dude running about with his junk waving in the air. Very, very serious story indeed. Get a load of this. 18-year-old man allegedly killed the wife and child of a Tampa Bay Rays prospect in triple homicide, report says. And this is the character here. This is our naked criminal. And there is a serious side to this, as you can see. It says an 18-year-old man reportedly accused of killing the family of a minor league pitcher in a triple homicide was arrested Tuesday following an hours-long manhunt that culminated in police chasing the naked suspect through the streets of southern Virginia town. Matthew Thomas Bernard. Why do most accused killers in America have like triple-barreled names? You see this all the time, folks. I've noticed this. I'm not the only one to notice it. Think about all of the famous kind of shooters and serial killers and people like that over the years. You're going to find they've got this three-name thing going on. Am I being paranoid? As Iron Man said last night, everything comes in threes, right? So it says here, Matthew Thomas Bernard was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, and Pennsylvania County Sheriff Mike Taylor declined to identify the victims, but ESPN reported that they were the wife, son, and mother-in-law of Blake Bivens, a 24-year-old pitcher from the Montgomery Biscuits, the Class AA affiliate of the Tampa Bay Rays. And on Tuesday, the Biscuits announced they were cancelling a doubleheader due to a tragic event within the Biscuits family. So if we come down here, though, we only seen so much of the story yesterday. Let me just get my comedy music on here, because there's more to this chase, right? And then we'll get into why things like this are happening, why the world's going so backcrap crazy, right? You must have noticed it. If you haven't noticed it, you're not paying attention. We'll get the crazy music going. We'll see if it's nice and low now. Got to find the right one first, eh? There we go. There we go. We need this for this, right? Because check this out. We'll get to the bit we hadn't seen. This is the bit we hadn't seen before, right? So he's running down the road. This cop here, he's not catching anyone. It's not happening. Give up, dude. But it gets worse. They're going to set the dog on him. But this guy's junk must be really pongy because the dog ain't having none of them. And then, as you can see, he does finally get apprehended in the bushes, right? So that was our kind of funny, dumb criminals story from yesterday. And yes, it deserved that music. I don't know what you think, but I think it definitely deserved the music. So we'll get into the chat room. We'll see what people are saying about that before we move on. And I don't know, but that dog didn't look good. Do you think he's mind controlled? Hod God, I don't know enough about the story, dude. I really don't. Maybe they stumbled across him when he was getting changed somewhere. I'll need to read into it more. I can't say he looks mind controlled from that, but I get it. These things, who knows? Who knows in this day and age, right? Nobody knows anymore. You know, there's even a case to be made. Is that video real? After all the deep fakes and things we've been talking about, it looks like something out of the old Benny Hill. It truly does. But like I say, there is a serious side to this. And maybe there's some mind control aspect to it. I don't think I'll be looking too much more into it. I just found the whole chase kind of hysterical, kind of funny. And the dog, the fact that the dog took one look at his junk and went running the other way, I don't think that dog's got much of a career as kind of a bomb sniffer or anything like that. But I'm sure it wasn't a bomb that he was sniffing, right? Oh, boom, boom. So then why is this kind of thing happening? Why are people going so mad? Have you noticed it around you? Even at times I feel like I'm going a little mad, like I'm losing the plot. You only have to walk down Sauchiehall Hall Street. The bearded traveller will tell you this, and you can tell there's something far wrong. I don't know if it's a frequency thing. I don't know if it's an education thing. Or could it be that social media is having a big effect? Think of some of the things you see on social media. These are some of the things that I would never have expected to hear people saying in the real world pre-Facebook, pre-Twitter. You know, when we used to get together physically and things like that, we'd maybe go to people's houses. I know that sounds really, really kind of revolutionary, meeting up with people in the flesh, physically. But you didn't see half of the nonsense, or you didn't hear half of the stuff being said that you do now. And people take to Facebook to share. I don't know, psychologists must absolutely love it. They must be having a field day. And it is very, very easy when you step back and you start to look at the posts, the subject of the posts, what people post about. It must be really, really, really a gold mine. And we know it as a gold mine of information for them to really, really map out what each and every one of us is like. I truly, truly believe that. And like I say, I don't know if social media and some of the craziness on there is what's making people more stupid. Not everyone. I get it, not everyone. But even I feel more stupid at times. And looking around me, I definitely think the world's more stupid. Well, there's a story here, right? And this is all about the Facebook. And I'm going to get into more of this on the Kev Baker show later today. This was one of the ones I found on my travels, so we're not going to dig too deeply into it. It's just one of the thoughts I've been having about some of the crazy stuff you see in the world. Not necessarily that chase. I'm not blaming Facebook on a triple homicide and then a naked dude running down the road. That'd be ridiculous, right? But check this headline here. Facebook's vicious cycle. Regularly using social media causes people to get stressed, which then fuels addiction to the sites. Well, I think that headline has got it slightly wrong there. I think it's the wrong way around. I think Facebook have set up their site so that people get addicted to it. And then the more that you use it, inevitably, the more stressed you're going to become. And I've definitely moved so far away from Facebook. It's absolutely brilliant. Do I still have it? Yes. Do I post the odd crazy selfie of me? Absolutely. Do I share the show? Yep. I alert people at the Kev Baker show starting over on TFR. I'll maybe tell them that we're going live over here on YouTube in the hope that they'll take a break from Facebook, if nothing else. Because we've all been there if you're on Facebook, and Twitter's the same. You start scrolling down and you say to yourself, right, just another couple of posts. And before you know it, you're still scrolling down. And they designed it that way, okay? They designed it to turn us into little dopamine junkies. That's exactly what they've done there. And I'm hearing Anne at the door. I'm just waiting to see if my son can tear himself off the console to go and answer it. Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, I think what happens is Facebook hooks you into it. You definitely don't realise just how much it gets a grip of you. Not for everyone out there, but I'm sure you know people that every time you see them, even when you're having a conversation with them, right, the thumb's going, thumbing down the feed. And when you're taking in information like that, I don't know what it does to the way the brain works, but I think it changes something. We see our attention spans, they've been absolutely eradicated, decimated, destroyed. Used to be a joke, didn't it? Used to joke with people, like, you've got the attention span of a goldfish. And then they went and done research, and literally the goldfish has got more of an attention span than me now. And it is, I put that down to social media and the bombardment of information that we get constantly. But I'm going to be getting into this tonight over on the Kev Baker Show. We'll dive back in. Somebody's in Facebook jail. Mr. Stoneleigh. Dude, doesn't take much to get put in a Facebook jail now, eh? Just daring to think for yourself. Posting a meme. They really don't like memes on Facebook and Twitter more and more these days. Do you know why that is? Remember I'd done the show with Lee Stranahan? And he was talking about a guy called Jeff Geezy. And he had wrote a paper for NATO talking about memetic warfare. Basically, the use of memes to program people and as a form of propaganda. And literally, eventually triggering people as well. Memes are so powerful. I know they just look like an image with a few words on them, but they've always been powerful. You think back to World War I, and there was a famous poster, and everywhere you looked, the finger was pointing at you. Your country needs you. That's a meme. It caused people to go and sign up to fight for the country. That's a powerful piece of propaganda, right? And it's just an image with words. It's why they hate using these things, because it's quick, it's to the point, and it gets past that whole goldfish attention span. It's just boom, it's there, delivered in one foul swoop. Yeah, they use them against us, but we can use them to wake people up as well. So yeah, the old memes, if they let us continue to use them. And don't forget, folks, don't forget you can support the stream. Many ways to do that. You can become a member. I think we only need 11 now before we get the emoji. Anne's shoe. She's just come in, so I better watch her don't get the shoe. That is the next emoji. Or you can consider a super chat. You get your message up on the screen. I've got an Australian AI to read out the messages now. I sacked Brian. Brian was crap, so I got an Australian AI. She sounds like the Travago girl, so she will read out all of our super chat messages. If you want to do that, and sitting laughing at me. Or, and it would be very much appreciated, there is a PayPal link down in the description below. But like I always say every time I do this, and I hate to do it, doesn't matter if you can't afford anything, because as you can see, I'm here day after day now anyway. And I was saying earlier on, I was telling Kristen we're about to go live, and I was saying, don't tell anyone. Well, here I am about to tell everyone. I'm really enjoying the daytime streams. Gives me something to do. It gets me up. And, when you're sitting in the house all day, and it can become pretty depressing, folks. Not that I am depressed, but with being able to do this, it gives me something to kind of get up, get in about, get the housework done, and then prepare this craziness for all of us here today. So then let's go to the chat room before we get into Musk, my favourite Mr. Musk. Let's see now. I got shut down from Facebook for posting how bad it was for users and society as a whole. Neil Bowie, that will do it, sir. That will do it. That will do it. And Mr. Stoneleigh, we don't talk about those nasty P words in the chat during the daytime over here. But I get you, dude. I get you. Legend Real. Seen it on a bus today, Kev. Your army needs you. Over here in the UK, they're going after gamers. That's their new kind of recruitment drive. and it shows you like it flips between scenes of a gamer, how they've got stamina, staying up all night to play the game, and how your army, how the army could really make use of people with stamina. And yeah, they're going after that kind of. It's a good way to target the people. Well, Mr. Armand Adams, I don't know if there's a message with this, but you really didn't have to, brother. But thank you very, very much for the PayPal there. I don't know if there's a message with it. I'm just bringing it up right now. There's not, but Armand, anything you want to say in that chat room? Now that you're a Kev Baker Show guest, right? I mean, you've been on the show, and I'm trying to find where the stream is here. I'm getting lost a little bit. Hang on, I've got the wrong screens up. There we are. We're back. I'm back. Well, not that I went away. Okay, right. I'm getting lost now. So I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, I was reading out the chat room. Mr. Stonley, want to know who runs the world? Just look at who we're not allowed to criticise. Yeah. Although we're not allowed to criticise anyone nowadays. You can't question anyone's sexuality. You can't question anyone who thinks they were born as a vampire. Criticism is going to be a thing of the past. That's going to be like freedom of speech. We just wait till they get into like freedom of thought. Think about that. And I mentioned, I think it was with Charlie Robinson. It was a Star Trek episode, right? Oh, there goes Kev watching Star Trek again. Yep, love it. But they went to a planet, I think it was Star Trek Voyager, and they went to a planet where it's pretty much like the way we're going now, only on steroids. And they got to the point where they banned any violent thought. Now, the minute you ban anything, and it happened in this show as well, you cause a market for it. It's like prohibition. You ban alcohol, people want more of it, right? So what happened in this TV show, in the Star Trek episode, was that there became like a black market for thoughts. Violent thoughts. The more violent, the better. And how far away are we from that in this society here, where we are allowed to say less and less and less all of the time, and it keeps continuing. And that in itself alters the way that we think. And when we alter the way we think, we alter the way we behave. So when they've got brain-computer interfaces, and Musk's going to be putting his Neuralink on the market within, 6 to 12 months, we're going to see human trials. How long until having a negative thought is enough to penalise you? And who decides what thoughts are allowed and what thoughts are not? I know it sounds like the follow-up to 1984, right? Look at the trajectory we're on, folks. Just look around. And that takes me to where I'm going next. Philip Blair says, we can still criticise Canadians. I would never criticise Canadians. Some of my biggest supporters, a lot of the guests, Canadians as well. Good friends, Nancy, good friend of myself, Anne, and Kevin. Never going to get me criticising Canadians. And I find Canadians are very much like Scottish people. And I also find the country looks like Scotland on steroids as well. Bigger trees, more snow, colder at times. I don't know, it just looks like a cool place, man. It really does. Don't mess with the Canadians, says Lee. Nah, exactly, man. I like the Canadians. In fact, not that I've met like thousands of Canadians, but any Canadian I've ever met, really down to earth. Find them a bit like Australian people, to be honest with you. Dead kind of familiar, dead sociable. Yeah, I like Canadians. I like everyone. You know me, folks. I like them all. Right, so I don't know why Anne and Kevin were laughing at that. I really don't. But maybe not laughing at me. So where are we going with this? Well, Elon Musk, he's back with another kind of dire warning. And it's all to do with technology again. And I think anytime Musk speaks about technology, we must listen. Not only is he on the cutting edge of it, but he also gets to see all the other leading tech companies out there as well. And my son is sitting here saying that I've got man love for Elon Musk. I've told you, Kevin, it's not man love, it's just affection. That's all it is. So what he has been saying now, and I know people are dying to hear this, okay? It's because, check this out. I'll bring it up on the screen now. This is something else I'm going to be getting into in more depth tonight, but Elon Musk claims that humans will soon be far, far surpassed in every single way by a computer. Now, that in itself is not a really bold claim. You don't have to be a prophet to work that one out. But I want you to hear the
We're hopelessly inadequate. In terms of rendering, basically, there's just a smaller and smaller corner of intellectual pursuits that humans are better than computers, and that every year it gets smaller and smaller, and soon we will be far, far surpassed in every single way, guaranteed. 100%. Or civilization will end. Those are the two.
He was just about to say, I'm just going to put it back a bit. Listen to this bit at the end.
Single way, guaranteed. 100%. Or civilization will end. Those are the two possibilities.
Two possibilities, folks. Either the computers far surpass us, which they're already on their way to do. And I know we can sit and converse until the cows come home. Maybe digital cows in this case, about what's intelligence, can something be conscious, all that good stuff. But raw processing power. You know, I would imagine some of the supercomputers that exist today, without even going into the quantum world, far surpass what we're able to actually compute with our brains. And you got to remember, our brains are absolutely amazing because all of the information that's going through there every second of every single day, every single year. Not only that, but you kind of, I call it render reality. What do I mean by that? Well, you take in light comes in, it bounces off objects, and from that light bouncing off objects and all the different colours, you decode it. It goes in through your eyes, through your webcams, and then it's transferred into an electrical signal, flipped upside down, and then produces, in your mind's eye, this world around us. That's one hell of an amazing machine, right? But when you think about the likes of what my good friend Mr. Rose is bringing into the world, the whole kind of sanctuary AI and the synths, as he calls them, the robots, things like that. When I spoke to Geordie, you know, when I asked him about how close these things are to becoming conscious, sentient, that kind of thing, he talked about this being like the holy grail for scientists out there. Literally the holy grail, to make machines that are more intelligent than us and lifelike as they can. When he put it on like a percentage scale, if memory serves me correctly, I think he said it was about 10%, and he might have said, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how close are they? He put it as a 1. Now the thing is, that might sound like, well, we're a long way away from that. Now then, if it's only at a 1, then nothing really too much to worry about in the near future, right? We seen that really, really basic AI text program that I was playing with yesterday. Nothing general intelligence about that. But point being, you can see how these things are getting better and better and better, and the algorithms and the machine learning are only set to make them better and better and more improved over time. Now, when these machines do surpass us, and I'm watching a TV show right now on Netflix, it's from Russia, and it's about a robot that's super sentient, that definitely surpasses anything that we're capable of, and looks identical to a human. You can't tell them apart. They've got humans playing the part as the robots. But that's where we're going, folks. You know, remember Sanctuary AI, and I'll bring it up just now, just to take a look at where their machines are, how they're looking right now. Here we go. Again, this is Geordie's company. Where are we? Where's Sanctuary AI gone? Hang on now, folks. Yeah, the website. Oh, wow. Right, I want to show you something weird, and I didn't know this, okay? Remember Sanctuary AI used to have the really creepy picture with, like, the steps, and it just had, like, a basement, nothing else, and it was password protected. And we've had Geordie on, as you can see here, the man behind Sanctuary, the man that helped bring the first world's quantum computer into circulation at D-Wave. Well, check out his website for Sanctuary now. What is going on at Sanctuary? They've put it back to being password protected, folks. That's weird. That's weird. Let me check Twitter. I've got them on Twitter. Sanctuary AI. Where have they gone? Wait, this is weird. This is really weird. I can't find them on. I wonder what's happened at Sanctuary. There they are, at Sanctuary AI. This count doesn't exist. Right, whoa. Stop already. What has happened? Have the robots taken over at Sanctuary AI, folks? Have they? Right, we've got Holly Peck there. Geordie, see what Geordie's saying. Superposition, D-Wave. Man, AI is hard. I wonder what's happened. I wonder what's happened here. Man, AI is hard. Geordie Rose. Harder than quantum computing or about the same? Way harder. Right, hang on. Something weird going on here. Something weird. Let's see what Suzanne's saying. This is, Suzanne's really like the genius. And Geordie Rose will tell you that. She's like savant level boffin genius. Come on, Suzanne. Tell me what's going on. Right, she's posting a lot about her art and things. Right, let me go to the chat room, get your thoughts on what we're finding out here. What's happened to Sanctuary AI? Have the robots literally taken it over? Have they? Holy shinoli. Oh, man. I can't work this one out. What I'm going to do after the show is I'm going to try and get in touch with Geordie, see what's happening. Maybe get him back on. Yeah, and Kristen, Avatar, I got the email, but because I've got shows every day and I've got 2 shows a day now, what I do is I'll be answering emails at the weekend. So the email's there. I've seen it in the inbox. I see it. Skynet AI is real. By looks of AI at the Sanctuary, I think it might have taken over already. Give me 2 seconds, folks. I'm just going to do something. I'm just going to put some music on, and then I'll be right back with you, okay? 2 secs. Imagine you pesky people thinking I was having a smoke break. Imagine that. Smoke away from there. Now, what I was doing, folks, was I was checking to see what's happening with Sanctuary AI. Now, Sanctuary AI, for anyone who doesn't know, is the robotics company that was founded by Geordie Rose and Suzanne Gildert. Now, the two of them are also a big part of the picture when it came to D-Wave. I had Geordie on the show. And even if you didn't see that, you'll probably have heard about Suzanne Gildert's presentation where she said at Sanctuary AI, they want to bring the TV show Westworld to life. So Geordie moved from the D-Wave, the quantum computing, and he ended up in AI. Well, everything was going fine. We had one of the robots had a job at a business park in Canada. And then I think it was, what was the name? Nadine. I think it was Nadine was the name of that robot. We were able to finally get into the website after months of guessing what it was all about. Remember at that landing page, we couldn't get in there. And then speak to Geordie, he tells me all about, the holy grail of technology, creating these machines that can think and one day maybe become conscious, become sentient. Big question mark over it, but real cutting edge stuff. And then today, we found out live on the show here, you see, totally unplanned, unscripted, that there is no Sanctuary AI. The Twitter feed's gone. Sanctuary AI, I'll check it again, folks. We go back to Geordie Rose. See, Sanctuary AI. Something went wrong, try again. What about Kindred? Kindred's still there. That's another of Geordie's companies. D-Wave, still there. Sanctuary. What's happened? See, I'm liking playing with this music and the sound effects thing now. This is pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Now, I'm going to drop a line to Geordie after we get off here today. Try and find out what's going on. This is pretty weird. I don't know what the chat room make of it. I know you probably aren't into Sanctuary and Geordie Rose and D-Wave as much as I am. And, even when I used to work with Anthony Patch and we would look at the equipment and the technology and we would take it into all of the kind of the woo and the deep dark stuff, Myself and Anthony always used to say publicly and privately, we had nothing but admiration for like the technology and the people that had put the science together. You have to take your hat off to that. And over time, and especially after speaking to Geordie, my opinion of the man changed entirely. It really did. And a lot of people said, but Kev, you've been duped. You've been duped. I can only take people at face value. And Geordie was an absolute pleasure to talk with. But I'm really, really keen to find out what's happening at Sanctuary AI. I can guarantee that when people find this out, before it's news, what other kind of forums do we have? Godlike Productions, they'll all be telling you that the AI, it took over the facility. There's probably about 2,700 scientists have been done in by these sentient robots. They're all about to take down the deep state. They're probably living out at Gitmo. They're gonna, you get it, right? You get it. It'll launch a LARP or two. You can guarantee there'll be a couple of the clickbaiters all over this. You seen it happening here live, me finding out. You all found out at the same time. None of us know what's happening here. I checked for news stories when I went for that coffee break there. See how I done that? But I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything saying they'd closed down. And isn't that a really, really ominous tweet? Let me just bring it back up for you folks. Let me just get to it here. There we go. Man, AI is hard. It's obviously proven a harder nut to crack than they thought at Sanctuary. I just hope something bad hasn't happened. Something along the lines of one of these Black Mirror episodes. Something like that. Who knows? Who knows? Good woo to be had. I'll definitely be updating this on the show today. I'll be trying my hardest to get a reply from Geordie. He's an elusive man, as you can imagine, you know, when you're on the cutting edge of this kind of thing. But when he's saying AI is hard, and then you go and find out Sanctuary, AI is offline, maybe it's just something simple with the company. Maybe. But damn, does that make for some good woo, right? Right? Now, let me just dive in. Let's see what's happening in the chat room before we have another couple of stories or so. Trent L, listen to Kev. I'll drop a line to Geordie. He's so famous now. Not at all, dude. That's the thing you come to realise. Be it Geordie Rose, be it David Icke, be it any kind of person whose name's known. These are people just like us. You reach out to them. I just had the nuts. I don't know what happened to me. I just decided, here I am talking about Geordie Rose all the time. Why don't I get Geordie Rose on the show? Never thought for 1 minute it could happen. But it can, because we're just all normal people. Yeah, Geordie's, you know, a millionaire running these multi-million-dollar companies, sure. But he's just a dude like me in the end of the day. He's just a person like all of yous as well. So yeah, I definitely don't consider myself famous. Think about it, folks. On YouTube here, I mean, how many bazillion hours of footage go up a day and how many channels are there? Even with 100,000 subscribers, and I'm not there yet, that's not a big channel. It's really not a big channel. We've got 100 people watching this right now in a world of 7 billion. There's no fame involved for anyone on YouTube, and anyone who thinks they are getting famous, and don't get me wrong, your PewDiePies and your people, a few million subscribers, still only a few million people in a world of 7 billion. Yeah, you become one of these social media influencers, as they call them. Even then, so it's a couple 100,000 people. It's nothing in reality. There's no fame. People are full of themselves if they tell you they're getting fame, man. I'm telling you. Any camera buffs in here, Jimbo? No, I'm certainly not. I'm not a camera buff. Don't know much about them at all, dude. But back to Elon Musk before I start to wrap up to today. That whole thing there where he was talking about the computers surpassing humans. The BBC here have got a story. Elon Musk and Jack Ma disagree about AI's threat. Now, Jack Ma, I think he's the guy behind Alibaba, if memory serves me correctly. Hey, Alibaba's Jack Ma and Tesla's Elon Musk took opposing views of the risks and potential rewards of artificial intelligence at an event in Shanghai. The Chinese entrepreneur said he was quite optimistic about AI and thought it was nothing for smart people like them to be scared of. I don't know, man. That's like famous last word, responded Tesla's chief. Mr. Musk added that technology was evolving faster than our ability to understand it. The two did, however, agree on one topic, that one of the biggest problems in the world is the world is facing is population collapse. The businessmen are two of the most influential tech leaders shaping the world today. And what I'm going to try and do for tonight's Kev Baker show, I'll try and find that full conversation and we'll be able to play that on the show. But again, when you see Elon Musk getting together with the guy behind Alibaba, whether you love them or hate them, you've got to at least listen to them, even if you think they lie all the time. I know there's people out there think that everything that people like Musk and that say, it's got to be multi-layered, there's got to be some hidden agenda. You know, we can only take them at face value and what they say and then judge them by their fruits, okay? And when you've got an interest in artificial intelligence and this crazy kind of digital world that we're moving into, you've got to listen to what these cats are saying because they're highly, highly influential. And like I said, Elon, he's probably seen the very leading cutting-edge AI. That stuff that we say is so far in advance of the things we get to see publicly. He's probably seen that. Maybe that's where his fears come from. Maybe that's why he's wanting to get the hell out of Dodge so quickly. That should really make us stop and pause and really think about it. It really should. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove on a tune for 30 seconds, a minute. Is that okay, folks? You know what it is? It's coffee time, and I've no coffee left. Would that be okay with you? And I'll stay for an extra 10 minutes or something. I'm asking you, it's kind of one of these rhetorical questions because it really doesn't matter what you answer here. I've already decided in my head I'm having a coffee and I'm coming back, okay? And I'm looking at the chat room, see the Master of Woo, King Sweet. Dude, you are the Master of Woo. I'm going to out King Sweet in the chat room. He has got a really, really sick fascination with old Queen Lizard breath over here in the UK. See, there you go, King. I'll out you, dude. So while you ponder King Sweet and just what goes on in his head, okay? I'm joking, King. I'm joking. And remember, folks, when I'm away, if you want to support the stream, consider a membership. There's PayPal. There's the Super Chat as well. Or there's absolutely nothing. I'll be back in 2 short minutes. You know, somebody once asked me, how do I like my coffee? I like my coffee, milk, and 2 woo. Come on, you like that, right? You like that. Now, we're back, folks. We're back. No, Roxy. Not over, not at all. My good friend, member of the channel. I just went to get myself another coffee. I decided to have a wee cup today, and just wasn't enough. Not enough at all. See, somebody in there talking about DNA computing. Now, I'm not sure of the story you're talking about there. Wait, let's see. Mojo. But I remember when I was working with Anthony Patch, we were looking at the research being done into using DNA as a medium, as a storage medium. And you think about it, you know, there's those 4 base nucleotides, I think it's C, A, T, and G. I can't remember the names of them off my head, the proteins and everything else. And if you could store 1s and 0s in a strand of DNA, one of the most efficient kind of storage mediums there is, like I was saying. So it doesn't really surprise me. I'll need to look into that, though. Thank you, Mojo. Pen here. DNA computing. And that's what I want to make these afternoon things all about. I'm never going to save the world on the best of shows. I don't ever claim to be doing that kind of thing, right? But what we're all trying to do, I would hope, is we're all trying to learn. We're all trying to make sense of the crazy world. And I'm doing exactly the same as you. Yeah, I've got a mic, I've got a camera. I've probably got a set of balls that allow me to do this kind of thing, put myself out there, put myself in the firing line for all that flack that you can take. But no one better than anyone else. Everyone's ideas is relevant and welcome in the chat room. We've got Kristen in there. She's one of my leading mods, if not the one, with Nancy and Nana as well. The three, I was going to say witches of the chat room, but I'd definitely come in for some grief for that, right? Right? So, no. If any questions in the chat, if you direct them to Kristen, myself and Kristen, we're on Discord, and she'll be able to relay things to me if it's really important. But any ideas are welcome. We try and stay on topic. You know, we try not to trigger algorithms. There's a few banned words I've got that get held for review. Not because I'm trying to censor you. Not at all. It's just the hoops we have to jump through, you know, when we're on this platform. And as much criticism as YouTube takes, I love it. I really love it. I really do. And I've fallen foul of the algorithm a few times, and thanks to you listeners out there, all jumping in and helping on Patreon and things like that. That's how I'm still here today. And I try not to criticize YouTube because they've given so many people an opportunity to do what I'm doing. And, you know, people have really launched careers through this platform. And to a certain extent, you can still say what you want. Maybe you won't be allowed to run ads on it, but that's not taking away your freedom of speech, right? If you can still say it, all it's doing is taking away your ability to make money on it. And yeah, I've got a monetized channel, obviously, but there's no topic that I won't go near. I know sometimes it's not going to get monetized, but it's about the information, right? And some people you hear moaning about the censorship and everything else. Yeah, I get it. You're being censored if your channel's been taken away and stuff like that. But if they've just removed the money-making ability on videos and your video's still up, you're not really pissed about censorship, are you? The reality is, people are pissed about losing money. And people don't like me saying that. They won't like me saying that. I'm just brutally honest. And if you don't like it, hey, what can we do? So, yeah, we've had a bit of a revelation here on the show today. Kristen says, call me a bitch, not a witch. Never, Kristen. Digitized DNA may be a reality in the future. Absolutely. You know, you think about, you say digitized DNA there, and it's actual kick on. Well, you think about what the D-Wave is doing, right? And the D-Wave has been able to basically look at all the folds in the proteins in DNA, taking it down to basically that quantum level. And it is digitized. They have basically digitized DNA. That's how they're able to simulate it. We're so far ahead of the curve when it comes to technology, even as somebody who tries to keep up with it. And I'm no scientist. I just kind of, you know, I follow the headlines and some of the stuff I dig into because I'm more interested. But even some days I end up shaking my head. Even the scientists that work in science must shake their head when they're reading some of the studies that have been done. It's truly, truly amazing. Yeah, it can be frightening, it can be scary, it can be ooga booga. But at the same time, what a time to be alive, folks. You know, it depends how you look at it. Roxy says, what time is it in Scotland? It is, my friend, 3 minutes past 6. So I'm going to be here for about an hour, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and I'll let you get back about your day. Try to see what else we've got here. Yeah, one last thing we've got here today. And I've just been talking about the future. I forgot I had this story pulled up. This is pretty cool. Again, something else I'll be getting into more on the show tonight, more in depth. Maybe, fingers crossed, if Scott's new wheelchair has arrived. And I know I like to laugh about and joke when Scott's here about his wheelchair, but on a serious note, if his new wheelchair's arrived, Scott's going to come on and hang out tonight. I remember Johnny Whistles the other day as well. He asked me what's happening later on in the week. I said to him, Johnny, if you want to aim for Thursday, I think it's no guest that day, so maybe we'll get Johnny Whistles tonight as well. We'll be discussing some of the stuff I've got into here today, lots more besides, and this here. What the world will look like in 50 years. Underwater roads, hoverboard, Quidditch, and self-cleaning homes will all be part of normal life in 2069. Experts say in 2069, folks, I will be 93 years old. I can guarantee you I still won't be doing this then. I can Guarantee it. Guarantee, even if I'm still alive at 93, you will not find me doing this at this point, right? Another couple of years tops, and then I'm out of here. So I'm not going to get too in-depth into this article because we're going to look at it more tonight. But here's some of the things here, all right? I mean, that looks pretty cool. I could handle going for a little journey on one of them. What else we got here? That looks pretty cool, right? Little kind of self-driving cars under the ocean in a tunnel. Then we've got these crazy-looking things again. But I'm scrolling down for a reason. The Space Hotel. That'd be cool. That would definitely finish all arguments about curvature, right? And no, I don't get into that stuff on this channel. So, here we go. Top predictions for the future by tech experts. And what you can do in the chat room right now is, right, put in 3 asterisks or put in some kind of way for me to identify your prediction for the future. And we'll get your predictions as well. Because your predictions are as relevant as anything they've come up with here. It says then, number 1, underwater highways. A subsonic tube transport system will be created as a sealed tube system that is travelling using pods, enabling connections between the UK and mainland Europe as far as Scandinavia in under an hour. I didn't think there was such a demand for people to get from the UK to Scandinavia in under an hour. Wonder what's going to be happening in the future that we're so desperate to get to Scandinavia. Swedish women. I'm only joking. But number 2, underground skyscrapers. So-called earth scrapers. Inverted skyscrapers which burrow downwards for many stories into the ground, enabling the withstanding of earthquakes. That's pretty novel. Self-cleaning homes. Oh, how cool will that be? You see, we all moan about the Internet of Things, we all moan about the technology, but who wouldn't like to see their housework done every day when they get up in the morning? Be great. At the press of a button, homes will self-clean when you leave the house or while you are sleeping. I want that. I need that. That'd be cool. Space hotels. Holidays to space in which space hotels orbit the moon or other planets, generating their own gravity. That'll definitely become a thing. Absolutely. 20 years, I would say, maybe. Maybe sooner. I don't know. Number 5, 3D printing of organs. Providing replacements for people in need of or organ transplants or to improve performance. Giving night vision or super speed. That's what they were on about with Storm Area 51, remember? That crazy run you could do, like Sonic the Hedgehog, and you'd end up going through the fence. That'd be crazy, man. Imagine like going to the shop and woof, somebody just flying past you at like 90 mile an hour, Roadrunner style. Neat, neat. Then we've got number 6, high street insect burger takeaways. What? I'm not even going to read that one. We can guess what that is. It says it on the tin, right? Flying buses and taxis. We'll be stepping into the nearest available air taxi as brought that up on the way there. Yeah, we'll be stepping into the nearest available air taxi as a high-powered drone copter will fly us above the traffic to speed us to our destination. Well, why did I get the funny feeling that won't be for us? Eh? What? I don't think I'll be able to afford the flying transport. I'll be one of the little fleas on the ground in one of the automated motors. Say they're body implants that monitor our health and translate any language. A digital companion that gets to know us and our health over our lifetime and which keeps track of our health needs. I think this is going to be one of the next big things. Personal assistance. Virtual personal assistance. Keep an eye open for more of these things becoming available, okay? I really do think that's going to be a thing. Quidditch-style aerial sports matches on hoverboards. I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so, but we'll see here. We'll be cheering on our favourite sporting teams as they fly around the stadium on hoverboards in Quidditch-style 4-dimensional sports matches. Possibly. I don't think so, though. Interactive movies. Well, we've already had Bandersnatch. You interact with that. Physically taking part in what we watch via virtual reality. Absolutely. When it comes to watching films at home, affordable, refined haptic suits that create sensations of touch, which will fool all 5 of our senses, allowing us to physically feel the film or the video game. Absolutely. Joseph in the chat room, print your own Pamela Anderson. I would imagine that's pretty much there right now. Matthew says virtual reality will be a reality. Yeah, right now with virtual reality, it's still just a little bit too clunky. It's still far too wired and too restricted. When they manage to really scale down the tech, they've got the graphics, they've got the rendering power, they've got that. I think it's the tech, and I think the augmented reality, that may be wearing a set of glasses or maybe a lens, a contact lens, where you see the digital world laid on top or overlaid on reality. You know, you'd still be here, you still speak to people in the house, but all the while you might have something going down the periphery of your vision, maybe an alert to say you've got a message from somebody. Maybe the bell will go off in another eye to tell you Kev's gone live again. Yeah, definitely. All jobs will be done by AI. I think eventually, Queen Goddess, I think you're right. A combination of AI, and of course robotics have AI. And I remember asking Geordie that when he was going to be sending the synths out into the world. I said to him, will the synths all be individual? Will they have their own AI, or will they be part of a master AI, like a hive? You know, autonomous beings, but at the same time all connected to that quantum mainframe, the big artificial general intelligence, the one that's making use of all the data that the individual agents are bringing to it. Yeah, so AI is definitely, it's a no-brainer, absolutely. Full immersion, virtual reality, yep, Philip, definitely the virtual reality stuff. America will cease to exist. I don't think it will, dude. I don't think it will. It might not go on in its current shape or form, but I think there'll still be in America. I hope there will. I really hope there will. Not this warmongering kind of military arm of this new world order, but back to what America once was. That'd be absolutely fantastic, right? And again, you know, I'm going to sound like Jonesy here, but it's just a handful of, you know, these globalists that are really pulling the strings in all of the countries. It really is. It's Sid Vitch says no more cash. Definitely see that coming in the near future. You know how I think they'll get rid of cash? This is a weird one. It probably sounds like the plot for a movie. Maybe somebody hear this and put it in a book or something. Some kind of global pandemic where germs are passed by touch. And then they'll say that it's all over the money supply. We need to get rid of the money supply. And we'll move on to the digital one. Problem, reaction, solution, right? Maybe they'll crash the economies, but I think they'd come up with a sneaky, beaky way about it. Again, listen, that's more fiction than anything factual. It's just an idea. Games that don't include bugs. Wouldn't that be novel, ZX81? And I used to have a ZX81. Are you a channel dedicated to like ZX81 stuff? Let me just pull your channel up here. I think I'll check that out after the show. But yeah, ZX81 was the first computer I had, dude. Philip Blair's looking for world peace. Matthew Blackman, a new Stone Age. Maybe. What else we got here? Prediction. Schools online. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Hospital care will be by neighbourhood centres except for special cases. Existence of ghosts will be scientific fact, but we will still argue over what they are. Annabelle Lee 100. Absolutely brilliant. Yep. That's pretty cool. I like that. Schools online. I've got a weird idea about schools, education. I think a child should just be allowed to be a child. Play, have fun, learn from the world around it until they're old enough to make the decision that they want to learn more. Yeah, you get basic reading and writing skills from home. Don't want to put them into like some state indoctrination center, but I think we could do it that way. And even then, when you do go to school, some people are practical, some people are more your bookworm. You've got to really identify that, and you've got to really harness and hone the individual skills of a child. That's what Elon Musk does. Again, back to Musk, he's got his own school. Not many people talk about that. And a lot of his friends, a lot of people that live around him, their kids are in his school now as well. And that's how they approach it. You know, there's tools everywhere, there's computers, there's books, and you'll find some kids love to get into the books, love to do the brain work. And then there's other kids love to do the practical side, just the way you see in the real world. So why not encourage that from the earlier age? I think it's cool. Keep scrolling down here, see what else we've got. Weed will be legal and available everywhere finally. Fred? Yep, absolutely agree. We've got London Real, Kev, 5G, what a danger. Did you notice how the Rapid style, they spent a fortune putting up flat screen Wi-Fi on the waste ground around the Gallowgate? Yeah, man, this is joys of being in the smart city. Glasgow, I think the full 5G network here, I believe, gets turned on later in the year. But it's irrelevant because they've already been testing it. So these frequencies are flying about. I don't go full like kind of negative when we talk 5G though. I don't. Yeah, I'm absolutely on board with the dangers, but I would like to see more scientific studies done before people, in case people do end up getting injured, getting hurt because of this. Seen bees. There's a thing with bees I was watching lately. They had all been attracted. It's almost like catnip. You know, like cats go mad for catnip. Well, these frequencies, it's the same for bees. They seem to love it and they get drunk off it. And I can't remember where I was hearing this, but, you know, a lot of the telecoms people were saying that you often find piles of dead bees because they just get absolutely zapped by it. It's weird. And again, that's not going to help the bee population. Let's see. Somebody says you'll receive info with your chip. Probably. I still think that'll be people that choose to do it and people that maybe choose not to. I hope they don't make that kind of thing mandatory in the future. What are the blue chickens? Well, that there is another story. If you go into my channel, Roxy, you'll see shows I've done with my good friend Ryan Gable called The Blue Chicken Cult. You'll see what the blue chickens are. Probably not worth wasting any time on, though, to be honest with you. Where are we here now? What else we got on? Original phone used light waves to transmit sound. Cannabis will be legal in 5 years to buy from a shop. Definite, I think so. Is that David Wilcock with the blue chickens? Yep, it surely is. AI swarms, Polly says. Yeah, I've been watching stuff on that as well. That's kind of mad. That's crazy swarm AI. Illegal is a man-made concept. Yeah, I get that, but illegal's still illegal. And if you do something illegal and you get chucked in jail, Fred, you can sit and tell yourself it's all a man-made construct all you want, but you're still in a man-made jail, right? And I get it. The rules of the game are jacked. But you got to keep it practical as well, you know? No plant is illegal. No, absolutely, Fred. That's the way the world should be. In a very just and fair and open society like we claim to be, that's exactly the way it would be, right? And we would all be able to, you know, use our free will to make our own decisions. But we know the game's been jacked from early on. And this power, you know, this concentration of power into the hands of a few called a government never works well for the majority. Never. Careful what you wish for, bearded traveller, says Mr. Stoneley. All they really did here was seize control of it. It was never illegal. In Norway, and this is from Sidvich, Norway, dude, if you're from Norway, do you know where Ringebu is? It's like just north of Oslo. That's where I was when I was in Norway on I think it's the E3 or the E5 up from Oslo. What a place, man. You are living in one of the world's most beautiful countries. You truly are. It says, we just made some drones that weigh 20 grams and can go 3 kilometers. Sold over 1 million of them to the US. It's weird because 96. I want to say 96, maybe 97. I was over there with the Marines. This was way before the time of like your autonomous drones and things like that. But we were testing a missile system, a surface-to-air missile called the Rapier system. And that's what we were blowing out of the sky. Drones, unmanned aircraft. So anyone that tells you that they didn't have unmanned aircraft, pre-2001, I can definitely tell you they did. But it says, 1 hour from Oslo, that's it. Yeah, that's the one, said Vitch. I was there. I was there for 3 months from January to March time. It was part of the Marines winter deployment. Absolutely loved it, dude. Loved it. People loved the accent over there as well, shall we say. Yeah, I had a good time. Loved your country, though. Again, that's another country I thought was like Scotland on steroids, because you've got the mountains, you've got the glaciers as well, man. And I went up as far as, where was it now? Stavanger. Went to Stavanger, and we went to Trondheim as well. Yeah, I was in the Arctic Circle just at one point, just over the kind of line for the Arctic Circle. But yeah, how cool is it we've got visitors, like viewers from Norway? That's amazing. Right, we're just getting to the end of this now. Rules and laws only exist when people believe in it, like government or money. Right, Fred, that's cool, and I get that. And you've got the whole Freeman movement as well. And, the whole money thing. Yep, you get it. Paper money. When you look at it and you look at how it's created, fractional banking and everything else, it's all crap, right? But you try and feed your family on telling them it's all crap. It's the system. It's like the rules of the game. And I know it's a jacked rule, but I used to look into all that Freeman stuff, and Jordan Maxwell, he talks about the money thing. It's how they control us, folks. And yeah, you can call it a fiction, you can call it everything else, but in the end of the day, it's what puts food on the table and roof over your head and all part of being in the simulation, right? And I'm not having a go at you, Fred. I'm not, because if we did all one day just wake up, all of us, and say no more, we don't consent to all of this crap, then yeah, fair enough. But until all of us want to do that, I just don't see it. I don't know. But I get it. I do get it, dude. I do get it. And think of money, it's currency. And Jordan Maxwell talks about how currency, it's a current. What does a current in a river do? It bounces off the banks of the river. I know what you're talking about, dude. I know exactly. When you go to the bank, you take out £1,000 loan for them, and through the back, they create £10,000 off the back of that they loan out to people. None of it ever existed. None of it. And I know where you're coming from. I do. We're back to... Head back to the Highlands, Kev. Yeah. Here's where I am on that. When I was growing up in the Highlands, I was one of these people that used to find it really boring. There was just not enough going on for me. And then when I moved away to the army, I used to really appreciate coming home to see the scenery that I didn't appreciate when I was growing up in amongst it, if that makes sense. I could really appreciate the benefits of the Highland life, but only for a week or so. Only for a week or so, man. And then I get bored again and I have to come back. Fred says, be the change you want to see, Kev. No, absolutely, Fred. And Fred, please don't think that I'm being combative or anything like that. This is what I would say to anyone when they bring up that subject. And it's utterly fascinating how they have rigged the game, the whole money system. But again, in the end of the day, it was somebody that said it to me. They said, Kev, that's all good and well, but what's going to get your dinner at night? How you get to pay your bills? You just got to stop paying your bills. You know what happens then. And again, it's all a rigged system. Lee Veltman, he's on about the LARPers in there. Matthew Blackman, Boston Dynamics robots that are quite deadly and have no conscience, so they can kill indiscriminately. Some of those Boston Dynamics robots are terrifying. Truly terrifying. And that Atlas, remember we used to laugh at it, it couldn't walk, it was like it was drunk. That thing's doing backflips and shit now, man. It's crazy. So yeah, Boston Dynamics, they're a country to really kind of... A country? a company even to watch out. I was reading the chat there. Sovereignty videos are entertaining. There's a whole heap of stuff out there, and it is an interesting topic. But it's really taking that information and being able to make it practicable, to be able to use it. I don't know how to really get my point across here. Crypto Colossus. Kev, can I get your email to send you a message? I don't really give out my email on here because I've seen people doing that on live streams before and then their live stream gets hacked. But you can get me over on Twitter at the Kev Baker Show, at Kev_Baker_show. You can direct message me on there. Kev, you know it's illegal to use a legal name, but what's it matter? Fred, I get it, man. I get it, but you just end up chasing your tail when you go around all this stuff. Bearded Traveller, Kev for PM, dump Boris. What do I make of the Parliament being prompted by Boris? You know me when it comes to politics. I don't really take much interest in it. And what do I think of Boris doing that? If he's done it so that we can get out of the EU without any interference from these treasonous asshats that are in there, fair enough. But again, the agenda's what will always go forward. And I don't like getting into the whole politics thing. Kev Baker, the Irish ancient language was Gaelic. What was the Scottish language before they spoke? Brits. Gaelic. We say Gaelic, the Irish say Gaelic. Pretty similar. I don't really speak much Gaelic, I must admit. Right. Don't be giving out phone numbers in the chat room, folks. We had that yesterday. We'll get some music on here while we read out some of the chats, eh? Like the music. Turn it down a little bit. Still people going on about the contracts and things in there. It's interesting. Philip Blair, Boston Dynamics sounds like DARPA. I would imagine Boston Dynamics have done a lot of work for DARPA. Kristen B singing songs, eh? What do you think about it, Bearded Traveller? I mean, what do you think of old Boris? I think Boris is entertaining. Thanks, Kev. Really good to see you in a new light. Daytime is a winner, pal. Good night, Jim Kelly. Thank you, legend. Juliana, hey, Kev. Where's Buzz at off? Buzz and I are friends. Where's Buzz? As in, like, Buzz Aldrin? He's the only Buzz I know. Or Buzz Lightyear. Bearded Traveller, is it a sex line? Not a problem when you step out of the system, Kev, but that's hard with the family and things. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, Fred. It's hard to escape it. And again, I'm not denying what you're saying is all right, dude. Not at all. And I know you get that now, and I'm happy you get that. Kev, PES will surpass FIFA. PES will introduce virtual reality and you can play with your Celtic team. Hot God! Never, man, never. FIFA's way better, dude. Boris is a legend. He's funny. You see, people think because I say I like Boris, they think I'm conservative or I like his politics. I just, don't know what I just think he's a character. He's an asshole. He used to burn £50 notes in front of homeless people with David Cameron. The guy's a despicable character. But we're going to get a laugh with him, right? Buzzacino, yeah, I don't know what happened to Buzzacino. Buzzacino's missing in action. We've got, what else we got? Just followed you on Twitter, and that's from my Norwegian friend. Avatar worked for the Mint years ago. Any word on AI robots? They were making interfacing the Neanderthal brains created from DNA they were able to retrieve. I have no idea about that story, dude. I'd love to know where that came from, though. That sounds like a Before It's News or Godlike Productions thing. Interfacing with Neanderthal brains? I need to check this out. I'll check. Hang on. AI Neanderthal. No, I can't find anything on that. No. Artificial intelligence applied to genome identities. Or artificial intelligence. Hang on, I'll bring it up here for you to see, folks. Don't know if this is the same thing. January this year, AI applied to genome identifies an unknown human ancestor. I don't know if that's maybe what it's about. By combining deep learning algorithms and statistical models, investigators from the Institute of Evolutionary Biology, the Centro Nacional de Análisis, have identified in the genome of Asian individuals the footprint of a new hominid who crossbred with its ancestors tens of thousands of years ago. I think we have spoke about that on the show, but I'm not sure if that's what you were meaning. Not sure. Right then, back to the chat room. I'm wrapping up now, and yes. Will AI make politicians obsolete? Well, I've said that before, one day maybe they'll have just an algorithm. Maybe they'll just make a virtual president, a virtual prime minister, and it's going to be somebody that they know will be appealing to both men, women, and all the other 45 genders out there. It'll probably be a half chicken, half man. I don't know. There was me being sexist again, right? Half chicken, half person. Brown chicken, brown cow. I don't know, folks. I'm getting stupid now. I'm going to have to go and get something to eat. I think I've missed half of the Celtic game already. Hey, Kev, ask Ryan Gable if he has checked out Melanie Martinez's character. She is releasing some weird movie soon. You two could possibly do a show on it. Melanie. I will check that out. Don't we all just love Ryan Gable? I know I do. Remember, check out Ryan Gable, thesecretteachings.info. That's one cool guy. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So I need to take you for a pint one day. Oh, yes, bearded. That sounds good, my good friend. But listen, folks, I've taken up way too much of your time. This was only meant to be an hour. You see how I get lost with you good people? What's happened today? Well, it's been a bit of a stream altogether. We had an update on the Naked Runner from yesterday. We took a look at Elon Musk's dire warning about AI. We also found out there's something weird going on at Sanctuary. Their Twitter's gone. You can't get into their website. I'll be emailing Jordy. In fact, I'll be doing that as soon as I get off of here. Maybe it's time for another show, right? Find out what he's doing now. But that's a weird one. We also took a really brief look at what some futurists say will be around in the world in 50 years from now. And we've had a time to chat with all of you great people out there as well. I think it's been another good coffee break, right? What do you think, folks? It's one thing me saying it's a good coffee break, but it really matters what you think out there, right? Surely. I wear a TV on my head. Brilliant. Enjoyed the woo. Nothing like woo to de-stress and feel better. Exactly. All that fake money system, all these fake rules and laws and everything else, they're all still there, folks. But we can just unplug into this tiny little corner of the matrix that I've carved out for us, right? And be it during the day, be it the nighttime session on TFR, I'm just so grateful for all of you out there. Maybe don't take enough time to tell you that. Laugh and a joke and everything else, but always know that it means the world, especially when I see people coming back time and time again. Lee, he's been around for years. Armand's been around for years. Kristen feels like she's been around for years. I really enjoy everyone. And Queen Goddess, seeing you coming into the chat more and more. Bearded as well. Brandy, King, Stephen, Joseph. That's exactly the perfect way to sign off, Joseph. One love. And that's not new agey. It's not, blue chicken, brown cow. If we could all just change our frequency and be more tolerant, more accepting, and Rule number one, if this is the only rule in life that I could give somebody, just treat people how you'd like to be treated yourself, even if you don't agree with them. More so if you don't agree with them. Be willing to listen to people. Listening, that's something that's dying off with attention, right? You need to be really, really willing to just treat people the way you want to be treated. And it sounds all, new agey. I get that. But I reckon that could bring about maybe not a change to the world, 7 billion people out there, but it might just change your world, your version of the simulation, your day-to-day life. And that is what it's all about. So until tomorrow, yep, I'll be back tomorrow. Freaky Friday tomorrow as well. So many hours of Kev Baker. I don't know how you managed to put up with it, but I will see you same time, same place tomorrow, 9 a.m. over on the West Coast. That's midday on the East Coast. And of course, that's around about 5 p.m. here in the UK. And if it's Norway, 6, 7, I think it's only 1 hour ahead, right? I'm going back to Norway. I've got Norway in my head now. Portugal. Fred is from Portugal, man. Wow. Fred, absolutely brilliant, dude. And I love the fact that you were able to appreciate that we're just talking. We're not arguing, man. Here we go. I'm going to play some music and I'll catch you all later.